Well, hello students. I am going to get down to brass tacks here and just get right to the point about organizational change and leading change. One of the things every leader in one respect or another is confronted with is handling change. How will my staff react to that change? What will I do if they're not on board with the change? And what if the change I want to implement doesn't work? These are all fears that every leader has. Yeah, I know that we have a culture out there that says don't worry about fear, no fear about anything. Well, I'm not talking about I'm afraid fear. We all know what that is. That's the fight or flight syndrome, and I don't want to go there. What I want to address is fear of failure. Now, what does that have to do with leading change? Everything. Because if we are more focused on the failure than we are of the success, then we are going to get caught in an emotional fog that's going to keep us from getting where we need to get. And that's what I mean about brass tacks. Brass tacks is about integrating a culture into a strategic redo. Yeah, redesigning a strategy that may have been etched in stone a while ago, but doesn't work right now, or not working as effectively as we might like it to. Now, whether you work in a municipality, whether you work in healthcare, whether you work in private industry, and on and on and on it can go, you are confronted with change. We live by change. The world keeps revolving, okay? Change occurs every single day in one form or another. Sometimes we react to change, and sometimes we plan change that we know is coming forward. And you know the old adage, sometimes things don't always go the way you planned them. So what contingencies do we have in place if the plan change doesn't happen the way we want to? So that's what this course really is about. It's about looking at a culture, analyzing that culture, and not making changes for the sake of change, making changes in order to reach our goals, to understand our strategies, and to accomplish the mission statement of the organization which employs us. So I got this Spectre book. I looked through a lot of books, and I'm thinking in a 7-week course, although this book is copyrighted in 2013, it really goes into a lot of theory about dealing with change, and also it talks about how we are able to integrate the culture slowly into the accepted change. So what we're really looking for here is organizational development through expected changes. And we're going to look at strategic human resource management. Well, if you're going to be a good leader, you have to understand people. So if we're going to change the organizational strategy or the methodologies in accomplishing that strategic plan, then we got to be able to get people that are involved in that change on board. So essentially, what that involves is three areas and the theoretical orientation of this particular project that we are undertaking. Number one, strategic. What is the goal of change management? Number two, is it purposeful? Can change occur for an organization or by an organization or some combination of the two? So if we talk about a purposeful perspective, that is going to involve explicit interventions. And we look at how these interventions are going to affect our culture. And behavioral change occurs in many different forms. Okay? But how does it alter employee behavior when that change occurs? Then finally implementing that change. That's the most important part. Who accepts it and who doesn't? And more importantly, for what reasons? So in this particular overview of the course, I wanted to let you know that there will be three areas of concentration in addition to what I just discussed. Strategic renewal, strategic human resource management, and strategic leadership. But everything is under the umbrella of strategy, changing strategy through effective leadership. So these are some of the things that I wanted to run by you prior to you starting the course. Now, in this course, everything you need, all of the tools that you need, will be in your weekly modules. Every week, we'll have a content module broken down into assignments for every day. Reading, listening, and viewing will be in every day. That's all of the theory we're putting together. All of the people that I interview for this course who are, in their own right, effective leaders. And they're going to share with you how they dealt with change. I'll also put YouTube videos up there. I'll also put my own webcams up there week to week. But the most important thing is that you synergize with one another asynchronously. And we'll basically create a virtual classroom and a virtual culture that just focuses on change. There will be 7 weeks in this course, and there will be 28 DQs, directed questions, in which you will write a paragraph or two to your peers, okay, about the question that I put up in the DQ. And you'll respond to me and also to your peers, all in the same DQ. So every DQ will have about 3 or 4 paragraphs. Maybe 2 respond to me and 1 to a peer. Minimum. There are only going to be 4 of those a week. You'll also have 2 essays, not a lot of work, 1.5 to 2 pages, double spaced with 3 references. And I'm going to ask you to respond in kind to those to those essays, and you will be able to assess something of the nature of what we've taken up to the point where I assigned the essays. That could even involve interviewing someone along the lines of a leader who has experienced change. But like I said, I'll be interviewing individuals that you can be able to see how they experience change, whether they planned it or not, and how their subordinates reacted to it. So that's basically an overview of what we're going to cover in this course. I look forward to seeing you all online on July 8th. Now, I'm also putting up a blog for you to tell me a little bit about yourself and what you'd like to get out of the course. Now, I'm not asking for you to write a big, long thing. Just a couple of paragraphs about you, your background, and what you'd like to get out of the course. Professor DeChico.